A lot of the topic recently, especially given the recent reveal of the HTC Vive and Oculus pricing, has been VR, VR, VR. And some people have been wondering, well, what about the HoloLens? And now we have some comments from the designer of the HoloLens' augmented reality system, Alex Kipman. And basically he said that he's putting on the brakes on launching a consumer version of this particular headset. And when he spoke to reporters at the TED conference in Vancouver, he basically said that the main reason was because Microsoft has been badly burned by the failure of the Kinect. Now naturally, at first the Kinect was fairly successful, but obviously it pretty much died when it was removed from the base model of the Xbox One console, which obviously attributed to the Xbox One's higher cost at launch. Naturally, this probably costly failure has made Microsoft wary of launching the HoloLens too soon. And he said, quote, "It was not a pleasant experience. The Kinect was just not ready to sell 10 million units in 60 days, which is what it did." Now obviously, as we know, a $3,000 version of the HoloLens is available for businesses and developers, but Kipman naturally says that they're holding back on a consumer version for what he calls the foreseeable future. And he said, quote, "When I feel the world is ready, then we will allow normal people to buy it. It could be soon as we say yes, and it could be as long as a very long time." And to be honest, while the Kinect and the HoloLens are definitely very different products, I can definitely see why Microsoft has learned from that painful mistake of the Kinect. Not to say the Kinect was a pure disaster, because that would be untruthful, but overall they wrote it off as a failure, obviously. So I'm not really surprised that Microsoft's being a bit cautious. I think what they're probably waiting for is to watch the market with, of course, their VR devices. Well, they're not exactly like HoloLens, you know, it's kind of the rival devices. And basically see what happens with the market, perhaps make adjustments to pricing, model, whatever, you know, maybe to the device itself, how it's sold, that sort of thing. And I think, to be honest, this is a wise decision. It's better for them to take their time, develop it, figure out what works, watch the market, see what happens, and release a more successful product, rather than rushing it out and it be a flop, or be successful at first, but then fizzle out rather rapidly, as we've already seen with the Kinect. Now obviously HoloLens is augmented reality, not virtual reality, but it's still similar things, at least in the eyes of the consumer. It's a headset that, you know, augments your reality or whatever. And of course people are going to be cautious about augmented reality, as of course that's going to be different to VR, but it's still key to watch the VR market, as it is kind of similar to what the HoloLens is aiming to do. And I think Microsoft are just playing it easy and cautious, which I think is probably for the best. You know, obviously the Xbox One is doing pretty well, so they don't want to try and scupper the success that they've built up with the, you know, with the help of Phil Spencer recovering from Don Matrix disaster area by rushing out the HoloLens. So we'll see what happens, but I think this is probably a wise decision. But of course, I don't have my crystal ball to hand. I could be wrong. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.